Okay, we're going to part two of this of the legacy of Earl DMX Simmons. And this is part two here. Starting with the religion. DMX was a born again Christian, and he stated that he read the Bible every day. He reads the Bible. While in jail, DMX he stated that he had a purpose for being there. This is what he said. I came here to meet somebody. That's what he said. I came here to meet somebody. Don't know who it was, but I'll know when I see him. And I came here to give him a message. And that message is Jesus loved him. DMX was a transitional, what DMX was? DMX was a deacon, a transitional deacon, and he had started aspiring to become ordained as a pastor, a preacher, if you will. Stating that he received this call in 2009, but in 2016 he gave a sermon at a church in Phoenix, Arizona. Relationships in children. DMX was the father of 17 children from 11 different women. Wow. Really? This man's fathering 17 kids. Oh, man. He wanted to be a parent to 17 kids. He did that, though. But he married Tashira Simmons, who he already known since childhood. But these two like childhood friends. But he did marry her for some reason, but until this moment. Even though he did married his childhood friend, Tashira Simmons, in 1999. Even though they tied the knot. And they were married for 11 years. They had 4 children. They had 4 children together. One of the only children they have was Xavier. The oldest one, Tacoma, who had to be the second child. Sean, the third child, and Praise Mary Ella, the fourth child. But in January, in July of 20, let's get rephrase it back. In July of 2010, after his first of 3 incarcerations that year, Tashira had announced their separation. She's been announcing, their separation. They remain friends. They will stay friends till the end. Although in 2016, what else can you do? Although in 2016, Tashira she accused DMX of missing his $10,000 a month child support payment. DMX had a daughter, Sasha, with Patricia Trejo. In 2012, Trejo sued DMX for like $1 million in unpaid child support. The case was settled in like 2013. DMX and another woman, Monique Wayne. That's why I said right, Monique Wayne, a resident in the state of Maryland, fought over her claim that he was the father of her son, born in 2004. She sued him for the defamation and for child support after the genetic testing proved that DMX was the father. In January 2008, DMX was ordered to pay Wayne $1.5 million. $1.5 million. But a judge decided to start vacating the judgment in May of that year. Yeah, there's more kids here that DMX have also fathered. He also fathered a son, which had never been named. It had to be something. A son that they never even named, and a daughter they never have named. It was with a woman who goes by the name of Yadira Borrego. The son was 11 years old at the time of DMX's untimely death, while the daughter's age was not known by the general public. DMX's 15th child was born to his fiancee, Desiree Lindstrom, on August the 16th, 2016. On December 5th, 2019, DMX's 16th and 17th children, twin boys, were born Pebbles Junell. They were born to Pebbles Junell. Though, let me get this straight. On early December 2019, December 5th, 2019, DMX's 16th and 17th children, twin boys identically, were born to Pebbles Junell. He did not have a will at all. As a result, the legal battles ensued in probate courts following his death. His death included there's finances and bankruptcies. DMX, he filed for bankruptcy 3 times. His first filing was on July the 30th, 2013, citing his child support obligations. The obligations to his child support claims that he did, it was like a priority claim of his. They named it as his priority claim. It says citing his child support obligations as his priority claim. The filing was challenged by the United States Trustee Program and was dismissed. It was dismissed by the was it dismissed? Oh yeah, and it was dismissed by the United States Bankruptcy Court in Manhattan on November the 11th of that year. It's a feud he did. It's a beef he had with Ja Rule. During the 1990s, DMX formed a close bond with fellow and up and coming rappers like Jay Z and Ja Rule. The three collaborated many times and formed a group known as Murder Inc. before it became known as the Inc. The group was short-lived due to internal issues between DMX and Jay-Z. After the breakup of Murder Inc., DMX disparaged Ja Rule in interviews, accusing him of being a copycat, drawing comparisons between himself and what he saw as Ja stealing his signature gruff style of delivery. But DMX, he released a diss track. It's called "They Want War" on a 2002 DJ K Slay mixtape. Ja Rule never directly. They never see. I'm explain to you about Ja Rule. He never directly. He never directly responded to it. DMX, he also released the single "Go to Sleep" with Eminem. Let me see. Let me explain I'll explain about what DMX had did. He released a song, a single. It's called "Go to Sleep." It's called "Go to Sleep." It was with Eminem and Obi Trice as the part of the Cradle to the Grave soundtrack. That's what it's a part of, a soundtrack that was for Cradle to the Grave. Cradle to the Grave. It was with the numerous lines that was he had directed to Ja Rule. However, as time passed, the feud the feud faded into obscurity. DMX has said this that he wanted to officially bring it to an end. He said he wanted to officially bring it to an end. When he was released from prison in 2005, Gotti came to me. That's what he says. This is what DMX has said. This he said. He said Gotti came to me in jail, and I said I want to make peace with you and him. I was like, all right, Gotti, let's do it. Despite this, DMX and Ja Rule did not officially end their feud until 2009 at the inaugural VH1's Hip Hop Honors. And there's a feud that he had with Jay Z when DMX partnered with Jay Z and Ja Rule. Yeah, I'm explaining to you. I'm explaining what DMX did when he partnered with Jay Z and Ja Rule in Murder Inc. There was a feud between the two, which also contributed to the failure of the group and working together. According to the reports, the feud started in the early 1990s after a rap battle between the two, which led to DMX's disdain for Jay Z. Prior to DMX's death, the feud, although it fizzled out, over the years, continued on when DMX said this in an Instagram video that he wanted to rap battle Jay-Z on verses. There's a picture of DMX in 2008. This is his mugshot from June 2008. This man was in jail. This man was in jail more than 30 times throughout his lifetime for the various offenses that he had caused and done, including criminal possession of a weapon, let alone a firearm, robbery, assault, carjacking. That's right, carjacking, animal cruelty, reckless driving, driving under the influence, unlicensed driving, drug drug possession, probation violation, failure to pay child support, pretending to be a federal agent, and tax evasion. It was around the 80s. DMX was sent to prison first sent to prison in 1986 after stealing a dog from a junkyard. From a junkyard, he served a few months in the juvenile unit of Woodfield Prison in Valhalla, New York. Later that year, he was sentenced to 2 years. Sentenced to 2 years uh for another crime, and then he was being sent to the industry into it was being sent to the industry institution in upstate New York. However, in December of 1986, just a few days after starting his sentence, and he and his cellmate he and his cellmate successfully escaped the prison, and DMX returned home until his mother forced him to turn himself in and finish his sentence, which that he did at the McCormick Juvenile Detention Center in Brooktondale, New York. That was a name I did not even know was familiar with. Brooktondale. That's a town that was in New York. Simmons was sent to prison again in 1988 for carjacking, and was later moved to a higher security prison after attempting to extort a fellow inmate for drugs. For drugs, He was released in the summer of 1988. The summer of 1988, they released him. They let him go until the 90s, when officers of the Fort Lee Police Department executed a search warrant. Uh, they executed a search warrant that was of his home in 1999. DMX promptly surrendered himself on weapons possession charges. He faced a 1999, yes, we facing. He faced a 1999 animal cruelty charge in Teaneck, New Jersey, after a dozen pit bull dogs were found at his home there. They found a dozen of them dogs. They found them there at his house. But the charge was so dismissed after the performer agreed to accept the responsibility and record and he recorded with he recorded that the public service announcements for an animal rights group, an ARG, an animal rights group. In the 2000s, we'll see what you have here. In 2000, DMX, he served a 15-day jail sentence for possession of marijuana. He served another jail sentence in 2001 for driving without a license and possession of what I just read, marijuana. That's marijuana. His appeal to reduce the sentence was so denied. Rather he was charged with assault for throwing objects at prison guards. He threw a fit. He threw a fit in throwing objects at the prison guards. In January 2002, DMX pleaded guilty in New Jersey to 13 counts of animal cruelty, 2 counts of maintaining a nuisance, and 1 count each of disorderly conduct and the possession of drug paraphernalia. He eventually plea bargained plea bargained down to fines, probation, and community service. Yeah, community service, and he starred in a public service announcements that was against the dangers of guns and animal abuse. And in June of 2004, yeah, in June 2004, he he was arrested. What DMX what got arrested for? At the JFK International Airport. It was named after the late John F. Kennedy, who later got killed in 1963 in Dallas, Texas. Let me explain to you again. But in June of 2004, DMX was arrested at the John F. Kennedy Airport, the international airport. That was named the John F. Kennedy International Airport. That was named after the late John F. Kennedy on the charges of cocaine possession. Yeah, that's right, cocaine possession, criminal impersonation, criminal possession of a weapon, criminal mischief. That's the word, criminal mischief, menacing, and driving under the influence of drugs and alcohol while claiming to be a federal agent and attempting to carjack a vehicle. A vehicle. He was given a conditional discharge on December the 8th of 2004, but he pleaded guilty on October the 25th, 2005 to violating parole on to late 2005, November 18th of that year. DMX was sentenced to like 70 days. 70 days in jail. Not 17. 70 days in jail at Rikers Island for violating parole. The lateness charge added a 10-day extension. To the original 60-day sentence. DMX DMX was released early just for the good behavior on around the end of December of '05. That was December 30th. That's where Pimp C was going to be released from Huntsville State Unit Penitentiary Unit. Well, it's a Huntsville State Unit Penitentiary facility that was in Huntsville, Texas. That's where Bun B and a few other guys they had came to pick him up. They came to pick him up from Huntsville State Unit Penitentiary in Huntsville, Texas. That was after his birthday. That was on December 29th of 2005. That's Pimp C, y'all. He's the motherfucking guy who wants to get the shit going. I mean, his high pitched sound completely made him who he was at that period. But never mind what happened. Uh, but rest in peace to Pimp C. Uh, until the late 2000s, DMX's home was raided on reports of animal cruelty. Until 2008, 2011, there was over. It was happening in both states. It happened in two states between Arizona and California. Uh, on May 9th, 2008, DMX was arrested on drug and animal cruelty charges after attempting to barricade himself inside his home in Cave Creek, Arizona. I was mentioned a lot of there's some audio from the one of the reports that was I listened to on the Year of the Dog Again album. DMX pleaded guilty to charges of drug possession, theft, and animal cruelty stemming from an August 2007 drug raid as well as the May 2008 arrest at a hearing on December 30th of that year. That was around, the end of 2008. He was sentenced to 90 days in jail on January the 31st, 2009. On May the 22nd of that year, he entered a plea agreement slash change of plea and pleaded guilty to attempted aggravated assault in jail. After serving out after serving 4 out of 6 months for violating drug probation, DMX was released from jail on July the 6th, 2010. That day, a TV pilot was filmed was filmed to portray his road to recovery. However, however, DMX was arrested. That's what DMX do. He was arrested 3 weeks later, and the pilot did not evolve into a series. On July the 27th of that year, DMX turned himself in to the Los Angeles Metropolitan Court. The Los Angeles Metropolitan Court for the reckless driving charge that he received in 2002. He was sentenced to serve 90 days in jail until late 2010. He was arrested in Maricopa County, Arizona, on the charges of violating his probation for uh, early 2009 aggravated assault on an officer while he was incarcerated. On December 20th of that year, DMX was moved to the mental health unit of the Arizona Alhambra State Prison, and he was, released on July the 18th of 2011 on until August 24th of that year. Yeah, they arrested him for the tenth time in Maricopa County, mm, uh, Arizona. That's what it says. That's what it says. I think I gotta find out the name. Yep. Let me go back to it. On August the 24th, 2011, DMX was arrested for the 10th time in Maricopa County, this time for speeding, recorded at 102 miles per hour, 164 kilometers slash whatever you call it. There's 164 km slash h. That was in a 65 miles per hour, 105 kmh zone. Reckless driving and driving with a suspended license. While DMX admitted to speeding, he claimed that he was driving 85 miles per hour, 137 kmh. 2013 until early 2013, he was arrested in Spartanburg, South Carolina, for driving without a license, a picture driver's license, as a matter of fact. On July 26th of that same year, he was arrested again in Greenville County, South Carolina, and charged with the driving under the influence of alcohol as well as driving without a pictured license. On August 20th of that year, he was arrested again in Greer, South Carolina, during a traffic stop after a car he was a passenger in made an improper U turn. He was arrested due to an outstanding warrant for driving under suspension. Four packages of marijuana were also found in the vehicle, and he, along with the driver, were cited for them. On November the 4th of that year, DMX was again arrested by the Greenville Spartanburg International Airport Police near Greer, South Carolina, after police who were familiar with his prior arrests noticed that DMX was behind the wheel of a vehicle at a terminal. He was booked on charges of driving with a suspended license. A suspended license, having vehicle, an uninsured vehicle, and he started driving an unlicensed vehicle. He was subsequently released after spending 3 hours in jail. It all goes back to New York. On April the 5th, 2015, a man accused DMX of robbing him. On June 26th of that year, DMX was arrested in New York, charged with the robbery in Newark, New Jersey, and failure to pay child support. Let me get it right. And failure to pay child support. On July the 14th of that year, DMX was so sentenced that why do you think that's what happened to him? He was sentenced to 6 months in jail for failure to pay $400,000 in child support. That's a lot of money. That's a lot of money. On December 14th, 2015, an arrest warrant was issued for DMX after he missed a court hearing to address child support issues with his ex-wife, uh, who had to be his childhood friend, Tashira Simmons, and their 4 children. Yep, around the 2010s, there's tax fraud conviction. It's a tax fraud conviction that started the cover. In July of 2017, DMX was charged with what was it, 14 federal counts of tax fraud. Federal prosecutors charged him with failing to file income tax returns. From 2010 to 2015, a period when he earned at least $2.3 million, DMX pleaded guilty. Here's what I tell you about DMX. He pleaded guilty to a single count of tax fraud in November of that year. DMX was originally free pending sentencing, but was remanded to jail in January of 2018. Anyway, after leaving a drug treatment program that was ordered by the court, and he started relapsing with cocaine and oxycodone. In March of that year, a judge goes by the name of Jed S. Rakoff sentenced DMX to 1 year in prison, following, followed by the 3 years of supervised release. The court also ordered DMX to pay $2.29 million in restitution to the government. He was released from prison on January the 25th, 2019. Health problems, and leads to death. Simmons claimed he became addicted to crack cocaine when he was 14 years old. After Reggie Ron tricked him into smoking a marijuana cigarette laced with the drug. Simmons entered a drug rehabilitation. Simmons entered a drug rehabilitation, several times, including in 2002, 2017, and 2019, when he started canceling concerts and shows. When he canceled concerts. On early 2016, Simmons was found unresponsive in a parking lot at the Ramada Inn in Yonkers, New York. He was resuscitated by first responders and intravenously given Narcan, an opioid reversal drug. He responded quickly to Narcan. Narcan, that's the word. That's the word that I had mentioned. And became semi-conscious. Simmons was subsequently rushed to the hospital. A witness said that he ingested some type of substance before collapsing, but the police found no illegal substances on the property. Simmons has stated that it was from an asthma attack. There's more people out there outside the hospital. There's more people outside of yeah, he held a shrine outside that White Plains Hospital building. That's where DMX dies. On April that's one thing I can tell. On April 2nd of 2021, approximately at 11 p.m., Simmons was rushed to White Plains Hospital, where he was reported to be in critical condition following a heart attack at his home, possibly resulting from a drug overdose. The next day, his attorney, Murray Richmond, confirmed Simmons was on life support. That same night, Simmons suffered cerebral hypoxia. That's the word. Cerebral hypoxia. As the paramedics attempted to resuscitate him for at least 30 minutes, Simmons's former manager, Nakia Walker. Did I get it right? Did I pronounce his name right? Nakia Walker said that he was in vegetative state, a vegetative state with lung and brain failure, with no current brain activity. His manager, SRC and Loud Records founder Steve Ripkind, stated that Simmons was comatose and that he was set to undergo tests to determine his brain's functionality, and his family will determine what's best from there. On the morning of April the 9th, 2021, Earl Simmons, uh, who's who was known professionally as DMX, yeah, Earl Simmons, he was known professionally as DMX. He lost functionality in multiple essential organs, reportedly his liver, kidneys, and lungs, and was pronounced dead shortly after at the age of 50. Age of 50. It was revealed on July the 8th by the Westchester County Medical Examiner's Office that Simmons's official cause of death was a cocaine induced heart attack. There's the legacy that he had did here. Throughout his nearly 3 decade career, DMX came to embody passion, rawness, and pure emotional honesty, like few hip hop artists never ever be able to have, barking his way through hits like Rough Riders Anthem and Gatsby Dog. One moment in repenting and philosophizing and 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 philosophizing, philosophizing on the tracks like Slippin'. The next, his was decidedly anti-commercial approach, but it worked. But it still worked, and it made him the genre's first new superstar in the wake of the killings of Tupac Amaru Shakur and the notorious B.I.G. To this day, few have been able to reach the heights he did, and he's the only rapper to have his first five studio albums to debut at number one, and he was the first living hip hop artist to have two projects to go platinum in the same year. This came from The Ringer, wrote upon the death of DMX. Various celebrities that I should have known of, they paid tribute through the outlets like social media, including uh, ex NFL player Torrey Smith, uh, basketball player LeBron James, NBA legend Shaquille O'Neal, rapper Eminem, actress Gabrielle Union. Well, everybody else knew who she is, who co-starred with DMX in the 2003 film Cradle to the Grave, along with Jet Li, who also paid tribute. Backstreet Boys member AJ McLean. AJ McLean, that's him. Uh, Wyclef Jean, Swiss Beats, who DMX had collaborated with including on the hit single Rough Riders anthem, Eve. There's Eve. Melissa Missy Elliott. Other tributors included Kelly Rowland from Destiny's Child, singer Chris Brown, uh, rapper Lil Durk, rappers like Big Sean, rappers like Polo G, uh, Metro Boomin. Well, he's like a record executive. The Weekend, uh, Ti, Jim Jones, Busta Rhymes, actress Viola Davis, R&B singer Mary J. Blige, Reverend Alan Sharpton, Reverend Alfred Charles Sharpton Jr., uh, rapper and voice of the East Coast, Angie Martinez, singer Sierra, and various others. A celebration of life took place on April the 24th, 2021. That was around that year, around the same year. Led by Kanye West's Sunday Service Choir, they performed several songs in the honor of DMX. The memorial took place at the Barclays Center. The Barclays Center was in Brooklyn. It was in Brooklyn with a limited capacity of 1,900. It was live streamed on DMX's YouTube and Instagram accounts. Yes, and I know it was live streamed. It was live streamed on DMX's YouTube and Instagram accounts. On the way to the Barclays, DMX's casket was carried by a black monster truck with long live DMX painted on the side. A procession of hundreds rode from DMX's birthplace of Yonkers, New York, to the Barclays Center. In between performances, people gave speeches including Eve, Nas, Swiss Beats, and Rough Riders Entertainment founder uh, Joaquin Wadeen and his brother Darren D. Dean. DMX's funeral, that means his homegoing celebration, took place in Brooklyn at the Christian Cultural Center on April the 25th of that year. It was live streamed on the BET network and its YouTube channel. It lasted around 5 hours. 5 hours to limit a capacity of 2,000 people. DMX's casket was in the color red and featured the word fate in large printing. It was featured in in the front of the room. People who were in the attendance included Nas, Lil Kim, Alicia Keys, and Swiss Beats, as well as the pastor of the church, Reverend A.R. Bernard, Minister Louis Farrakhan, who had and a leader of the Nation of Islam, joined the service via Zoom, with the exception of for a minute. With the exception of Alicia Keys Nas and Lil Kim, yeah, especially Nas and Lil Kim, they they gave speeches. They all gave speeches. DMX's former wife, Tashira Simmons, well, she held her own in trying to speak. And Rough Riders founders Y and D, they also gave a speech as well. There was some controversial testimonies like the former Def Jam chief, Leora Cohen, when his video featured an overhead view of a beach, and explained how Earl Simmons Earl Simmons was a wonderful man, while DMX was a gremlin. Additionally, Def Jam co-founder Russell Simmons compared his own issues with drug abuse to DMX via video. The homegoing ended DMX's obituary. It reads on the stage, and a virtual performance from singer Faith Evans. Let's read his name. Faith Evans. At the funeral, NYC community leader and peacemaker Erica Ford presented DMX's family several citations and proclamations from the New York Governor and Senate office. The New York Governor's and the Senate's office, and it's including a proclamation from the New York Senate, the New York State Senate, the NY State Senate, declaring December 18th. It's called DMX's birthday. It's named the Earl DMX Simmons Day. Additional citations came from Governor Andrew Cuomo and Mayor Mike Spano of Yonkers, the hometown of DMX. Cuomo had the flag flying over the state capitol on the day of DMX's death, presented to his family on June 28th of that year. Uh, his music was represented by former Def Jam label mate Method Man. There's Method Man, close friend Swiss Beats, Busta Rhymes, and another actor who himself would pass away from uh, drug intoxication 5 months later, Michael Kenneth Williams. At the BET Awards 2021, the impact that DMX had on the hip hop music, and he is considered a legend in the genre. He's credited for having defined 2000s rap and for being among the most prolific rappers of his era. He broke and set numerous records. His early work was vastly different from the past mainstream hip hop music at the time. While Sean Combs and other artists of Bad Boy Records label, Puff Daddy, who Sean Combs was known back then, and the other artists of the Bad Boy Records label were already at the height of their popularity, characterized by their big budget videos, lavish party throwing, and dance floor ready music. DMX had achieved success with a more dark, aggressive, rugged, and less marketable style. According to an Apple Music radio host, he said it was a complete 180. Puff was controlling it. I'll tell you about this shit. Let me tell you about this here shit here. This shit's like fucking bugged me out. It almost hurt me. It almost cut me to the core. It almost hurt me. A radio music host for Apple Music, according to him, he said this. It was a complete 180. Puff was controlling the clubs. You were watching Bad Boy Records pop bottles. Pop bottles were like Rolexes. We'll show you right here. Rolex. The Jesus pieces. There's like a Jesus piece that was shown on in the photo. And Coochie sweaters. There's a picture of a Coochie sweater. It's a Coochie sweater. And then here comes this crazy, energetic figure from Yonkers. From Yonkers with the Timberlands and the bandanas running around with the pit bulls. These misunderstood breeds of dogs, giving a perspective on the streets that a lot of people weren't familiar with and was it giving a perspective on the streets that a lot of people weren't familiar with and taking command of what hip hop didn't look like. This was said here. DMX's commercially successful violent lyricism helped popularize the let me start over. DMX's commercially successful violent lyricism helped popularize the horrorcore genre. There's all his studio albums and all nominations, films, everything else he did. Appearances and everything else. I got some other shit that's coming in January. I don't even know what. I don't know if I'm gonna have to reschedule or what's not. By the time I'm getting ready to go relocate and to a new to a new living surroundings. Not this piece of shit fucking house. I'll be relocating to another house soon. I'll be staying with a relative, living with a relative soon, and get the hell away from this piece of shit house. I'll be soon. I have to go. I but today I had some other things to deal with. Yeah, today I had some other things to deal with. I gotta get out there with my uncle and take care of some things at the title office in Chantilly. Me and my uncle had to go back to ABC title. I'm starting today. I'm gonna have to go with him to that place. Find out what type of um living surroundings I'm gonna move to. But I got other things that I had to worry about. Um, that's it for the stream. That's all it for the stream. I'm ready to get up out of here, man. Probably in January 2024. I might go do some new shit. Uh, and I'm out. I'm done. I'm done. Probably January 2024. I'm gonna do some more live streams or something, or not.